Hi, I'm Michael Haynes, and welcome to Listen, Innovate, Grow. Today, we're going to be speaking with Paul Hawkins, who's the CEO, or should I say, Chief Combobulator of Crazy Might Work. Paul, thanks for taking the time to speak with us today.
Pleasure, Michael. Good to see you.
So, Paul, could you tell us, or what are some of the ways that Crazy Might Work has been business innovating? So not just looking at your service offering, but what are some of the other forms of innovation that you've adopted, be it process innovation, organizational innovation, marketing innovation, to really take things from where you were in 2015 to where you are now?
So I guess there are probably a few different ways that we've done it. One is through just thinking very broadly about who our partners could be, and who we partner with in business. And so, for example, we found a wonderful conference organizer that runs global international events, and effectively that conference that they run in Australia has become our conference, although we actually don't do any logistics, whatsoever, because they organize, they market the whole thing from start to finish. And effectively, we then partner with them just to make sure that it's a great event. So with that, I guess, domain knowledge around innovation, which is a key part of it, and the effort that we put into the 2 days. As well as working with the speakers and that to make sure that the content is well themed. It's really become a kind of a match made in heaven, in the sense that they do all the heavy lifting from a logistics point of view, and then we do, I guess, some of the warmer stuff around building the relationships and making sure that it's something that people want to come back to. So that's one example. So that's really our marketing.
So really getting into the right kind of partnerships, those strategic relationships has been a key part in driving the growth. Any other things that you've been doing from an business innovation perspective?
Yeah, well, one of the things that we do is when we started the business, we said, what is the best thinking in the world around innovation? And so we went out and we've curated a variety of tools, frameworks, approaches from wherever we could find it on the planet, predominantly the US, but there's some great stuff out of Europe and other areas as well. But the other thing that we've done is where we haven't been able to find that technology approach, tool, whatever it is, we've been prepared to develop it ourselves. So a great example is that Feisty Fish tool that I showed you, where clients were saying, how do we scale innovation within our business? It's a real challenge, and we need some form of technology that allows us to do multiple locations and interact with our whole business. But when we looked at the tools in the marketplace, they were just so boring. They were so flat and so corporate in their design. We thought this is never going to engage anyone. And so we then innovated in the sense that we actually just built a platform that would do that would be highly gamified, really interactive, super engaging, and actually draw people into innovation. So I think it's about being willing, and we didn't know if that would work or not. At the outset, we had no idea what sort of uptake it would have, and so you just got to be willing to experiment, I think.
And trying different kinds of things, developing new products and services, partnering with people. Have you done anything from a marketing perspective in terms of things that you've done new from 2015 to now?
Well, I think those events were really crucial for us, because they were really quirky and they were wacky, and people couldn't even imagine what kind of event you'd have at Madame Tussauds or in the aquarium and how it would connect with innovation. So I think that's been key, is trying to stay true to our brand. As Crazy Might Work, there has to be an element of wackiness or craziness to it, and so I think that was a bit of a gamble in itself initially, because we thought if we create a company called Crazy Might Work, people are either going to go, forget it, these guys are off the reservation, or they're going to go, that's kind of interesting, and if we're trying to innovate, then maybe we do need a little
your approach
crazy
in your marketing should be very innovative. Practice what you preach. Absolutely. Okay, and one final question, Paul. Can you, for the benefit of our viewers, which are startups and SMEs that are looking to grow and scale and trying to use innovation, what are some key watch-outs of things they must do or not do as they're trying to seek growth and be leveraging the different kinds of business innovation to really take their businesses to the next level?
Mike, I think for me, the key thing is to really appreciate your customer, or customers. Be really focused on who you have. I think a lot of startups obsess with being massive and international businesses, but they neglect their very first customer, or their very first customers.
Yeah.
And so I would say that what we've done is we really just doubled down. And if we've only had 2 customers, we've just serviced the heck out of those customers. We've over-serviced them. We've kind of really loved and taken care of them, and as a result, they've had an amazing experience with us. And what we found is that those customers, we were talking marketing a moment ago, but if we talk sales, those customers have generated our sales for us. They've literally, referred us into other businesses, gone out, spoken about us, and raved about the service of the business. And so they become our ambassadors and our business development team. And so I think the one thing I would say is don't obsess about the customers you haven't got.
Yes.
But obsess about the customers that you do have. Because I think if you can make that really remarkable. And be incredibly loyal. We talk about customers being loyal to us, but if we're really loyal to those customers and do the right thing by them, then I think you have a foundation which just keeps growing.
Absolutely.
Whereas if you've got that churn element where people are disillusioned with what you offer and they're not so impressed, you don't generate any of that additional business.
Okay.
So I would say, for me, that's keeping your eye on the ball, is making sure that you're intently focused on service with the customers that you have.
So understanding them, but also working with them to nurture them and give them what they need so that they can be your advocates and source of referral and your own business development team.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's a bit of it's something that we hear a lot. It's probably become a bit of a cliche, but that the idea that it's much harder to win a customer than it is to keep a customer. But I think those existing customers have the ability to grow in terms of the services that they acquire from you, particularly if you're innovating and you're introducing new products and service lines.
Yes.
Those customers will always be takers of those products and services if their previous experience has been wonderful. So you've got a kind of a source of growth built in if you do the right thing by those.
Right from your current customers, if you work with them well. That's great. Well, thank you very much for your time, Paul. Really appreciate it.
Pleasure, man.
Hope you enjoyed this episode. To stay tuned for further episodes of Listen, Innovate, Grow, sign up to my YouTube channel, as well as stay aware. I'll be posting on my social media platforms. Until next time, I'm Michael Haynes, and thank you for coming to Listen, Innovate, Grow TV.